report ikakuwa presented kwa rais mara ya kwanza Bomas. Ikasemekana sasa kuna vile napaswa kuandikwa kikatiba na final document yenye nao inaweza tengenezwa ikuwe mswada wenye utapelekwa katika county assemblies na katika mbunge. Lakini wakati imekuja kuzinduliwa mara ya pili katika Bomas, ikakuwa bado kuna maoni ambayo wananchi wanaona haijawekwa vizuri, na ndio ikasemekana imefungwa, badilishwa. Lakini tukaona juzi rais amekubali ifunguliwe yale yenye wananchi wa Kenya wanaona bado yangeingizwa kabla hatujafunga tuende kwa referendum ifanyike. Sasa tuko katika ile hali. Kwanza tushukuru kwa hii kufunguliwa, kwa sababu ilikuwa ni jambo pia ya kufedhehesha hata kwa Mungu. Uwezi sema kuna document dunia hii yenye uwezi ongeza ama ukapunguza. Hiyo ni Biblia pekee yake ama Quran. Sasa kutuandikia document waseme hii sasa ni mwisho, uwezi fungua, uwezi ongeza. Unajifananisha na Mungu, unajifananisha na Allah something.
Kama uongozi wa kiimla au kidikteta.
Hata umetoka injini ukaenda mbinguni. So tunakubali hiyo na tunafurahia hiyo kufunguliwa.
Asante.
Sasa tuingilie kwa ile kufunguliwa na swali yenye umeuliza. Maoni ni vizuri yapeanwe. Jamii ya wafungaji wapeane maoni yao, kwa sababu mtu mwenye amekaa na Nairobi anaandika si mfungaji. Sasa anajuaje shida ya wafungaji? So ni vizuri asikize wafungaji.
Shikilia hapo Mbai. Pengine Odanga, unasema nini kuhusiana na swala hili, kupeana nafasi wa Kenya kuweza kujumuisha mapendekezo yao kabla ya ripoti yenyewe kuweza kupitishwa au kwenda kwenye kura ya maamuzi, iwapo tutakwenda kwenye kura hiyo?
Asante kwa fursa hii. Maybe kulingana na vile mheshimiwa amesema, ni imefika mahali mheshimiwa Raila Odinga pamoja na Uhuru Kenyatta hawana ile ruhusa ama nafasi ya kuona kwamba hii BBI haiendi through. So they have come to a realization kwamba lazima wasikize all sectors za nchi, kwa sababu wakati wale committee walikuwa wanatembea, walienda kule Marsabit, wakaenda Western. So wale wa Marsabit hawangejua kwamba wale wa Western walisema nini iwe katika hiyo BBI. So once hii report imekuwa officially released, ndo kila mtu sasa yajua kwamba these are the contents of the report. So now it dawns on them, they are afraid of bringing a report ianguke, because these other players wanaambia hapana, if you want us to be part of this report, you must make it inclusive. You must add every voice. That's why you see them trying to soften the stand, because wakiendelea na ile msimamo wako nayo, huenda wakapigwa butwa na hiyo report isiende through.
Nikirejea kwa Mbai, pengine ni njia mwafaka ya kuweza kuhakikisha kwamba ikiwa ripoti hii Wakenya watakwenda kwenye kura ya maamuzi, wataipigia kura, ikiwa kwamba Raila Odinga pamoja na kiongozi wa taifa wamepatia Wakenya baadhi ya wale ambao wametoa mapendekezo kuweza kujumuisha masuala yao kwenye ripoti hii. Je, inamaanisha kwamba pengine kama ingeenda bila kujumuisha masuala ya wananchi wangeipigia kura masuala kama haya? Pengine unasema nini?
Unajua kuna jambo ningetaka tuweke vizuri na inaendelea vibaya. Kwa sababu saa hizi kuna mashirika ya nchi ambayo inatimiza wajibu fulani kwa wananchi. Ukisai kuwa na shida yenye inataka polisi, si unaenda polisi, lazima upitie kwa Uhuru Kenyatta, lazima upitie kwa Raila ndio mambo yako ya polisi yashughulikiwe. Ukiwa mgonjwa, si unaenda hospitali Kenyatta, lazima uende kwa Raila ndio akupeleke Kenyatta, lazima uende kwa Uhuru ndio akupeleke Kenyatta. So tukatengeneza task force ya BBI. Na sasa wafungaji wakitaka kupeleka maoni yao kwa BBI, badala waende kwa BBI wanaenda kwa Raila. Sasa pale kuna shida ambayo mpaka pia iangaliwe. Hatuwezi ambia wananchi kama unataka maoni yako iwekwe kwa BBI, lazima upeleke kwa Uhuru. Na kama siamini Uhuru, na ndiye napelekea, ni kama saa hii uamini uchawi. Wewe uamini uchawi, unapeleka mtoto wako hospitali ndio atibiwe. Alafu unaambiwa mpaka upitie kwa mchawi ndio mtoto wako atibiwe, ndio haone daktari. Unaona pale kuna shida. So jambo ya kwanza, mambo ya kupitisha maoni kwa Raila ama kwa Uhuru inapaswa ikome. Twende direct kwa commission. Na pengine nikukatize tu kuhusiana na swala hilo ambalo umeliibua, ni kwamba ripoti hii ilikuwa tayari imewasilishwa kwa kiongozi wa taifa Rais Uhuru Kenyatta pamoja na kiongozi wa chama cha ODM Raila Odinga, na kwamba ile jopo kazi ambalo lilikuwa limepewa jukumu kwa sasa lilikuwa limefunga kazi na
kuachia hawa wawili. Kwa hivyo pengine nipate wazo lako kuhusiana na swala hili.
Bado kabla hujatoka pale, rais alisema juzi tu wakati alikuwa anafungua, akasema atatengeneza a multi-sectoral task force ya kusikiza the new issues, the new pricing issues. Sasa hiyo rais hajatengeneza the multi-sectoral task force, na already watu wameanza kupeana maoni yao kwa mtu fulani. Na mimi simuamini, yenye katiba nitaambiwa ni Raila, si yangu. Mimi siamini mtu mwingine. So
na wazo lako kuhusiana na swala hili ambalo nilibua mbunge,
tofautiana kidogo tu na mheshimiwa Mbai. Wazo hili la BBI, everything has an origin. Ni mheshimiwa Raila Odinga na mheshimiwa Uhuru ndo walikuwa waanzilishi wa BBI, lakini wao wenyewe sio wao wanatembea wakitafuta maoni msimu wa kwanza. Ndo maana wakatengeneza komiti. Ndio umeona wakati wamezindua BBI kule Bomas, ikajulikana kwamba pia hata naibu wa rais pia alipewa nafasi pia akafanya nini, akachangia watu wake kwa ile job. Kwa hivyo kuna job ambalo limetembea likichukua nini, maoni. So kwa hivyo hata kama humwamini Raila ama humwamini Uhuru, lakini wametengeneza job.
Wakenya wapeleke pale maoni. Tu wagani na kuzungumzia viongozi, tuangazie masuala kwenye BBI. Na hapo jana tuliona magavana wakiongozwa na mwenyekiti wa baraza la magavana Wycliffe Ambetsa Oparanya wakitoa maoni yao kuhusiana na wazo hili kwamba kuwe na naibu gavana mwanamke wakati kwenye ripoti, na kidogo walitofautiana na wazo hili. Pengine nikianza na mheshimiwa, wazo lako kuhusiana na swala hili na kuhusiana na usawa wa kijinsia, hasa wakati huu ambapo tunazungumzia kwamba hatujaweza kuafiki swala hilo.
Jambo la kwanza, mimi sikubalianangi na mambo ya two-third gender rule. Kwa nini? Kwa sababu tunaongea mambo ya akili. Hapa sasa tunaongea maoni ya akili. It has nothing to do with gender. Akili, unapata classroom moja, msichana amekuwa number 1 for 4 years. Na ni msichana na sisi ni vijana. So kwa nini tuseme tusukume gender ikuje? Kikatiba, gender inapaswa kusukumwa kiakili. Kama mama ni sasa tuko na governor Ngilu, alichaguliwa akaangusha wanaume 4. So kwa nini tuseme governor mtu apewe deputy governor kwa sababu ni mwanamke? Hapa si ndoa, ati lazima mwanaume aoe mwanamke. So mimi chenye nikisema kiweko kwa katiba, kwanza ni kuwa kabisa mambo ya two-third gender rule. Kwa sababu watu washindane kimawazo, kiakili, lakini si kijinsia. Jinsia tupiganie na mambo ya kutahiri wasichana, mambo ya kwa masomo ya msichana, lakini si mambo ya kupea watu uongozi kupitia kwa sababu wako kwa jinsia fulani. Na itawezekana, ndio naona juzi Chief Justice amesema mbunge ivunjwe kwa sababu hii jambo haijatimia. Na hakuna ile formula yenye italeta. Kwa nini tulazimishe Wakenya wachague deputy governor mwanamke? Why? Kwa nini tulazimishe Wakenya wachague governor mwanamke? Kama wale watu wamesimama wakati huo, ule mtu tunaona anaweza tuongoza ni mwanamke. Tulazimishwe tulete mwanaume na tunaona hezi.
Mtu washagulie kuhusiana na sera yake na maendeleo
na masuala kama. Na pia pale tunadhoofisha, tunaambia nini wasichana wetu? Mko na nafasi katika inji kwa sababu wewe ni msichana. Kwa hivyo usiweke bidii. Kuna vitu unaweza pata bila bidii kwa sababu wewe ni msichana. Watu washindane. Sasa hii tutoe mambo ya two-third gender rule kwa katiba kabisa. Ndio watu washindane kimawazo. Tukienda mambo ya maternity, sasa pale tunaweza sema ni mrodi wewe ni mwanaume usiingie maternity ward. Lakini mama ambiwe sasa hii ni mchama ya ile ni uranium ya wanaume usiende huko. Lakini kwa kuambiwa ati mwanamke mwanaume na tunaongea mambo ya akili pale mimi nakatana naye.
Asante mheshimiwa. Una wazo lipi Odanga kuhusiana na swali hili?
Kumuunga mkono mheshimiwa Mbai. Uongozi ni responsibility ambayo unapewa kutumikia wananchi. And kisiasa, politically, it's a competition. Na ukienda kwa competition, you don't condition it na sheria fulani kadha wa kadha. So pia ningeunga mkono ya kwamba watu waruhusiwe, kama yeye ni mwanamke ama yeye ni mwanaume, jitose kwa uwanja, tafuta sera, uzia wananchi. Wakikupea nafasi ya kuwatumikia, basi wafanyie wananchi kazi. Sometimes mimi naona tunademean hao wanawake wenyewe tukisema wawe deputy governor. Bona tusiseme wawe governor, deputy awe mwanamume.
Wazo nzuri. Na tukisalia kwenye swali hili la naibu gavana, ambapo tumeshuhudia tangu tuweze kupitisha katiba mpya na kuchangamkia ugatuzi na kuwepo kwa magavana, masuala kama hayo na kuwa na naibu gavana, kumekuwa na mvutano baina ya gavana na naibu gavana, na kwamba katiba haijatoa mwelekeo maksusi kuhusiana na wajibu wa naibu gavana. Mapendekezo yako kuhusiana na swala hili ili kuzima ile mvutano ambao umekuwa ukishuhudiwa na kuwafanya naibu gavana kama watu tu ambao wako pale tu kama wanasema vitara mbovu?
Kuna vitu ambazo wa siasa mpaka tuziweke. Wajua saa nyingine watu wanaongea Nairobi. Mimi constituency yangu ni rural, msituni huko ushago kwa watu. Na saa nyingine tunaongea tukiwa hapa Nairobi mambo na naona watu wanacheza na wananchi. Kwa sababu ukienda kwa county, tuseme leo nataka kuwa governor na ninatoka hapa CBD Kitui Town, hapa Nairobi Town. Na Timothy huko Westlands. Na mimi mpaka ndio nichaguliwe governor nikiwa hapa Nairobi Town, mpaka watu wa Westlands nipigie kura. Na ndio watu wa Westlands wanipigie kura, ninaleta Timothy. So kura ya Westlands si kuchukua kwa sababu ya mimi. Nilichukua kwa sababu ya Timothy. Na ndio nikakuwa governor na Timothy akakuwa deputy governor. Sasa unaangazia wakati nimekuwa governor, ninasahau ya kwamba kura ya Westlands nilichukua kwa sababu ya Timothy. Kwa hivyo wananchi wengine walinipigia kura si kwa sababu yangu kama mtu. Walinipigia kwa sababu ya my running mate. So yule running mate ni lazima pia apewe nafasi yake katika uongozi wa hii county. Na apewe majukumu katika hii county. Na apewe heshima yake wakati anaongea kwa hii county. Lakini at a given time lazima kukuwe na governor ambaye ndio mwenye majukumu yote. Ndiye executive. Na pia mpaka iwe clear. Ni kama kwa boma tu, tunaelewa mwanaume ni kichwa, mama ni shingo. Lakini kuna yale mpaka uwezi sahi unaambiwa uwezi uza shamba ambayo ni ile mtoa kwa babu yenu bila kuuliza mama. Hiyo ni sheria. So kwa governor, kwa sababu ulichaguliwa, wananchi walikupea ugavana kwa sababu ya running mate yako, at some point 40% ya kura zenye ulipigiwa kuna mtu mwenye alileta. Kwa hivyo kuna mambo kama governor mpaka uongeleshana na huyu mtu, ndio hiyo ndio inaleta usawa. Kwa hiyo maoni yangu ningepeana saizi vile iko ni mzuri, ikuwe governor, deputy governor akuwe running mate ya governor, wachaguliwe. Deputy governor aheshimiwe kisheria vile sahi deputy president apewe mamlaka kisheria, lakini pia usikuwe na vacuum ya deputy governor kushindana na governor, kwa sababu kuna mahali inafikia mpaka kukuwe na executive mmoja mwenye atasema iende namna hii.
Na ni swala ambalo limeibua mjadala kuwa na ubabe kati ya naibu gavana na gavana. Unasema nini kuhusiana na swala hili la naibu gavana kutopoa wajibu muhimu kwenye katiba?
Natumai ukiangalia vile serikali zimefanya imekuwa shida kubwa sana. Kwa hivyo lazima tuwe na kipengele katika katiba ambayo inajumuisha majukumu ya gavana na naibu wake. Kwa sababu ukiangalia hata katika serikali ya Mheshimiwa Rais alienda Mwai Kibaki pamoja na Raila, tulikuja tukawa na ile shida ya consultation, kwa sababu hatukuwa na ile kipengele ya kusema huyu anafikia hapa na huyu anafikia hapa. Kwa hivyo lazima tuwe na hiyo clarity of roles, kwamba naibu gavana anafanya hii, gavana anafanya hili. Hiyo itasaidia kwamba wasikae pale. Na unajua wakikaa pale, they also become ambitious because they don't have any role they are playing. So the next thing they will start doing ni kupanga jinsi ya kumngoa gavana mamlakani.
Kwa hivyo tuzamie swala hili vile vile kwa mapendekezo ya jopo la maridhiano. Tunafahamu fika kwamba kuna baadhi ya wanasiasa ambao walikuwa wametoa mapendekezo yao, akiwemo naibu wa rais Dr. William Ruto, kuhusiana na masuala kadha wa kadha. Pengine tuzamie swala hili la kuhakikisha kwamba kuna ujumuishaji, inclusivity katika lugha ya King'eng'e, ambayo ni mojawapo ya masuala ambayo jopo hilo lilikuwa likiangazia, masuala 9 mojawapo ya masuala hayo. Pengine Mheshimiwa Mbai, kuhusiana na ujumuishaji na kuwepo kwa afisi ya kiongozi wa chama cha upinzani na masuala kama kuwepo na waziri mkuu na naibu mawaziri wakuu wawili, unasema nini? Pengine itaweza kusaidia kupambana na swala hili na kuhakikisha kwamba Wakenya wote wanajumuishwa na kuhakikisha kwamba hakuna vita baada ya uchaguzi? Mimi
ni mwanafunzi wa mambo ya kisiasa. Sasa hii nafanya PhD yangu kwa mambo ya siasa. Na
Kongole.
Inclusivity ya kwanza katika democracy na katika ulimwengu ni ile tunaita representative democracy. Sasa hii watu wa Kitui East wamenichagua ni wa represent. Hawawezi kuja wote kutoka Kitui East wakuje kukaa mbunge. So wakapea mtu mmoja kura akuje. So wakati yule mtu anaongoza nchi, inclusivity inaanza hapo. Mwenye ako na executive powers kwa nchi mpaka apikue kura directly na mwananchi. Ndio hiyo kwanza, the first point of inclusivity. Na hiyo ikitekelezwa vizuri, kwa sababu tuliambiwa tuende tupige kura, tukapewa ballot paper, iko na Timothy, iko na Dan, iko na Nimrod, uchague rais. Wengi wa wapiga kura wa nchi wakapigia Timothy. So inclusivity ya kwanza ni mtu mwenye wananchi wote, mama mzee ako kwa village mwenye alipea kura. Inclusivity inaanza hapo. Hii ingine ni mastori tu ya wanaume kujipanga kutafuta chakula nini and all that. Kwa sababu kwa nini tulete mtu na backdoor na apewe powers? Na wananchi wenyewe walipea mtu nafasi ya kuongoza. Sasa hii Amerika wamepiga kura, kuna rais mwenye alikuwa kwa kiti ameangushwa na mtu mwingine, wananchi wamepea authority. Huyu mwenye aliangushwa hayesema kwa sababu kuna watu walikuwa wamenipigia kura milioni kiasi ndio wakuwe kwa serikali mpaka niwekwe kwa prime minister. Unaona ile maneno? So ile kitu kingine ya maana kwa inclusivity ni leader of opposition. Kwa sababu in democracy huwezi sema serikali mwenye amechaguliwa aendeshe sasa kwa ulingana na akifanya makosa nani atamwambia? So ndio tunasema ofisi ya leader of opposition pia ipewe uwezo. Mbeleni leader of majority, leader of minority katika mbunge alikuwa ni mtu tu unahangaika kama mbunge mwingine. Sasa hii ako na ofisi, ako na budget, ako na kisheria. Sasa hii leader wa majority, leader wa minority, bandi akienda UK anapokelewa kama officer mkuu wa serikali vile rais anapokelewa. So leader of opposition apewe ruhusa, apewe mamlaka fulani, apewe ofisi, apewe security, apewe magari, pia apewe uwezo ya vile atasukuma mambo ambayo serikali inawacha nje inaweza fanyika. Hayo mambo mawili yakiletwa, hii ingine ni mastori.
Asante. Unasema nini kuhusiana na swala hili leo?
Swala la inclusivity kwangu kibinafsi liko na sarakasi sana. Kwa sababu ukiangalia serikali tuko nayo, uangalia na uchumi wa taifa hili, hatuna hiyo uwezo ya kusustain ile serikali ambayo ina maofisa hao wote. Na tujiulize, why does the issue of inclusivity come only after someone has lost an election? The way Mheshimiwa has said, mbona tusiwe tu na an opposition to check on whoever won if he is fulfilling what he told wananchi? Why expand it? Because tomorrow you'll be here, tomorrow you may not be there. So are we doing it only to favor you for now? Ama tufanye ile ambayo hata miaka ijayo ile serikali itakuwa rahisi kuiendesha? Kwa hivyo kivyangu tunahitaji rais ambaye anaendesha nchi na awe na upinzani ambaye anahakikisha kwamba anatimiza yale matakwa aliambia wananchi.
Naam, asante Odanga. Pengine Mheshimiwa ambaye pamoja na Odanga tuangazie swala hili ambalo Wakenya wote wana umetupa macho yao pale ikizingatiwa kwamba huenda tutajitosa kwenye kura ya maamuzi. Tume huru ya uchaguzi na mipaka nchini IBC imejiandaa kufanya zoezi hili ikizingatiwa kwamba kwa sasa tunazungumzia kwamba kuna miamba mitatu tu kwenye tume hiyo. Makamishna 4 walijiuzulu akiwemo afisa mkuu mtendaji wa tume hiyo Ezra Chiloba. Nafahamu kwamba kuna Wafula Chebukati, Boy Muli pamoja na Abdi Gulie. Kwa mtazamo wako, tumejiandaa kwa kura hii ya uchaguzi iwapo kama tutakwenda kwenye kura ya maamuzi kabla ya pengine mwezi Juni? Mheshimiwa, unasema nini?
Unajua kuna jambo nilisema, nchi kuna kitu inaitwa bureaucracy. Bureaucracy ni kitengo muhimu cha serikali. Sasa hii ukienda ofisi ya chief, hiyo ni bureaucracy. Chief kukue nani raisi, kukue nani si raisi, kukue kuna raisi hakuna, chief atakuwa na yale mamlaka ya chief. Kuna polisi, kuna judge, kukue kuna raisi, hakuna rais, kuna judge mwenye anaweza hukumu mtu na anaweza peana justice kwa mtu mwenye amekosewa. Ndio haya vitengo hizi commissions zinakuja. Unasikia kuna Teacher Service Commission. Kukue kuna rais, hakuna rais, Teacher Service Commission iko, walimu wataandikwa, walimu watalipwa, walimu watakuwa transferred. Tuko na IEBC, Independent Electoral Bodies Commission, whatever. Hiyo kukue kuna rais, hakuna rais, ni kama vile kuna polisi. Bila rais, kukue na rais, kukue na shida yako kuna mahali unaenda kwa OCS. So sasa hii tumefanya by elections. Chebukati amefanya by elections several. Sasa hii kuna by election inaendelea Msambweni ya mbunge. Na zimefanywa na ile commission. Kwa nini sasa inafanya wakati imefikia mambo ya referendum ikuwe hii commission haiwezi fanya ile yes mamia referendum? Sasa pale kuna maswali. Mpaka tuheshimu vitengo ambavyo zimewekwa kusimamia mambo fulani kwa nchi. Sio lazima zikuwe zinakubalika wakati mtu fulani anakubaliana nazo. Tunaweza enda sahihi unipeleke police station. Na OCS yaseme Timothy umekuwa sorted na Nimrod. Haiwezi kuwa sheria hasa tibadilishwe kwa sababu Timothy ni mwananchi wa kawaida na Nimrod ni mbunge. Niandikwe kwa obi, niwekwe ndani, nipelekwe kotini kwa sababu nimekosea Timothy. Na tuheshimu ofisi ya OCS kwa sababu ndio iko regardless of mamlaka yangu katika. Sasa kama IBC kulingana na sheria ya nchi saa hizi ndio wanapaswa kufanya referendum. Sasa kwa nini tuanze kuambia mwezi fanya kwa sababu na nini mkubwa na nini yasikizani na wewe? Tusipoheshimu hizi organs zenye zimepewa mamlaka fulani katika nchi yetu kufanya mambo fulani, take it from me, hii nchi hakuna mahali tunaenda.
Bila shaka na umeweza kuibua swala muhimu zaidi. Tutakuwa tunazungumzia kuhusiana na Chebukati kudokeza kwamba mapendekezo yao kwenye jopo la maridhiano yalipuziliwa mbali. Pengine unasema nini kuhusiana na swala hili Odanga? Chaguzi au kura maamuzi huenda tukajitosa, na kwa sasa kuna mapungufu au kuna baadhi ya makamishna ambao hawapo na makamishna watatu.
Kwanza ningependa kutofautiana kidogo na mheshimiwa ambaye hizi tume ni huru, tunaziheshimu, but hizi tume ziko na representation. Saa hii tunasema wako na makomishona kama watatu.
Wawili na mwenyekiti.
Lazima tujiulize hawa makomishoners wako na uwezo, kwa sababu referendum it covers nchi mzima. By election ni ya constituency mzima ambaye Chebukati na wenzake wadogo pale chini wanaweza wakasimamia tukawa na uchaguzi. Swala la pili, tumeona tayari tuko na vita. IBC yasema kwamba hii referendum tunahitaji this amount kuiendeleza. Tukiangalia hii kitengo cha BBI na viongozi wanasema hapana, hii pesa tunahitaji pesa fulani. So lazima tujiulize that relationship itatuelekeza next year tuwe na referendum ama hatuwezi kuwa nayo. So kivyangu, na tukiangalia vile tunaendelea, lazima tuwe na ule mustakabali kwamba wote lazima waelewane. Tuelewane kwamba hii tume kweli na 3 commissioners wanaweza wakaendesha uchaguzi huru wa referendum next year. Tujiulize la pili, hii budget wanasema is it a realistic one? Lakini tukisema tu kwamba na mheshimiwa anajua kwa sababu yeye anakaa bunge, wako na committee. Naweza kuwa na committee wawe watatu ama wawe 4. Mnaweza pitisha watatu na wengine baadaye wakuja waseme hapana, we were not of that opinion. So kuziba zile pengo za baadaye watu waje waseme hatukuhusishwa ama ingekuwa namna hii ama mwingine amesema hii timu ingekuwa na commissioner wote tungekuwa na uchaguzi huru. Ni vyema tuensure kwamba hii team is fully equipped, fully represented, na tuelewane kwamba kibajeti wanahitaji pesa ngapi kufanya uchaguzi.
Asante kwa zola na
kabla mheshimiwa hujatoka pale Timothy,
kuhusiana na fedha hizo.
Kabla hujatoka pale constitution ya IBC commission. Sasa tuongee hizo. Kuna commissioners. Commissioner kwa Nairobi. Kila constituency iko na returning officer. Yarao. Kila polling station penye papeleka sanduku kuna kuwa na presiding officer. Unatoka presiding officer kwa polling station, unakuja kwa harao kwa constituency, unakuja kwa harao wa county, ndio sasa unakuja kwa commission. Na commission iko na secretariat. Commissioner ni kama ufike kanisani na ukute mchungaji mkuu yuko. Unasema siku hii ibada itaendelea. Ni kama tuseme saa hii Kenya rais ameenda ako nje saa hizi. Si serikali inaendelea. So hii commissioners hapa juu, lakini kuna system yenye inafanyanga inasimamianga uchaguzi kutoka kule chini mpaka hapa juu. Commission haina kazi kubwa katika kusimamia uchaguzi. Kama vile tunaangalia commission tulitoa Isaac Hassan, hatujawahi kuwa na mapumziko. Tukaleta Chebukati, tuko na vita. Kabla Chebukati sijui tulikuwa na nani? Tulikuwa na vita. Chairman wa IBC has nothing to do with an election. The system kutoka kwa presiding officer kwa ward, kwa polling station, kuja kwa returning officer wa constituency, kuja kwa returning officer wa county, kuja kwa the national returning officer ambaye sasa ndiye chairman wa IBC. Na chairman wa IBC hako. Kwa tuko na returning officer, the national returning officer hako as we speak. All the county returning officers wako. All the constituency returning officers wako. polling station presiding officers wanaandikangwa siku ile election inaendelea. So what else do we need? Secondly, nani amepewa kazi ya kusimamia uchaguzi na sheria ya Kenya? Ni IBC. So mtu mwingine kuja kuanza kusema IBC wameitisha pesa mingi na sio mwenye ataenda kusimamia, sasa anaingilia wapi? Na wao ndio wako pale, wanafahamu fika kwamba hizi ndio fedha ambazo zinahitajika. Nakumbuka kwamba Raila Odinga alidokeza kwamba ni bilioni 2 na ile commissioner, mmoja wa makamishna alisema kwamba gharimu serikali takriban shilingi bilioni 14. Pengine tukio kwenye swala hili, pengine ni mheshimiwa zungumzie kuhusiana na wazo hili kwenye ripoti ya jopo la maridhiano ambalo vile vile limepingwa na baadhi ya makamishna na mwenyekiti kuhusiana na vile vile naibu wa rais Dr. William Ruto kwa vyama vya kisiasa kuwa na usemi kwa uwepo kwa makamishna. Unasema nini baadhi ya vyama vya kisiasa? Unajua kama vile naibu rais alisema, wanasiasa, vyama vya kisiasa ndio timu zenye ziko kwa kiwanja. Na ndizo zinafanya sasa kuna referee ambaye ni IBC. Na tuko na vyama kama 6. Last time sijui tulikuwa na 9 zenye zilikuwa kwa ballot. Na bado kuna zaidi ya 44 ambavyo vinahitaji kusajiliwa. Tuseme zenye ziko na presidential candidates. Ongea chama yenye kuna presidential candidate na candidates. So chama yangu iko na presidential candidate. Hii yako iko na presidential candidate. Ya huyu iko na presidential candidate. Lakini tunakuja tunasema chama zile kubwa zenye ziko na presidential candidates zipewe ruhusa ya kuchagua commissioners wa IBC. Tuende pamoja? Chama ile kubwa yenye iko na representation kubwa ipewe ruhusa ya kupeana commissioner wa IBC. Shikilia hapo mheshimiwa. Mtazamaji, kama unavyotizama kwenye kiwambo chako ni picha za moja kwa moja ambazo zinajia kutoka Railways, mtazamaji, ambapo wakati wote kutoka sasa kiongozi wa taifa Rais Uhuru Kenyatta atakuwa anazindua ile reli ya kisasa hapa kwenye jiji la Nairobi kuhakikisha kwamba msongamano ambao umekuwa ukishuhudiwa unazikwa kwenye kaburi la sahau. Kwa hivyo tunasubiria mtazamaji, kiongozi wa taifa aweze kufika kwenye kikao hicho au aweze kuzindua rasmi ufafanuzi au kuhakikisha kwamba kuna swala la msongamano linaweza kushughulikiwa. Na mtazamaji, pengine kama ndio mwanzo unajiunga nasi, nazungumza na Nimrod Mbaye, mbunge wa Kitui Mashariki, na Nation Odanga ambaye ni mchanganuzi wa masuala ya kisiasa. Nilikuwa nakatiza kuhusiana na swala hilo la vyama vya kisiasa kuwa na usemi kwa makamishna. Ndio nilikuwa nasema kuna chama hii sahihi kulingana na BBI. Wanasema vyama zile kubwa, si vyama vyote vya kisiasa, vyama vile kubwa za kisiasa zipewe nafasi ya kupeana commissioner. Sahihi tuko na Jubilee ni chama kubwa, tuko na ODM ni chama kubwa, tuseme the NASA coalition. Jubilee watoe commissioner, NASA watoe commissioner. Ukuru wa court ako na chama yake. Na Wakenya leo waamue tutapigia Ukuru wa court kura akuwe rais wetu. Na Ukuru wa court kwa sababu ya chama yake ni ndogo hakupewa nafasi ya kutoa commissioner. Na Ukuru wa court ni mchezaji katika ile game. Raila anacheza ako na commissioner. Uhuru anacheza ako na commissioner. Ukuru wa court anacheza ana commissioner. Will Ukuru wa court get justice? Bila shaka haki haitapatikana hapo. Haki haitapatikana. Kwa hivyo ni kuassume ya kwamba mapigano ama mwenye anaweza kuwa rais ni mwenye ako na chama kubwa. Siasa ni kali. Mtu anaweza sema hata niko independent presidential candidate na Wakenya wasimame naye wamchague. Na ukiwa independent presidential candidate au unyapewa nafasi ya kupeana commissioner, sasa hutapata haki. So kusema mambo watu wa kisiasa, vyama vya kisiasa zipewe nafasi ya kutoa commissioners, kama zitapewa vyama vyote vyenye ziko na presidential candidate zipewe nafasi. Bila shaka tutumai kwamba wazo hilo litaweza kujumuishwa kwa ripoti hii kabla ya kwenda kwenye kura ya maamuzi. Unasema nini kuhusiana na swala hili la vyama vya kisiasa? Natumai mheshimiwa ambaye ako sawa pale. Tukiwa tunataka uwazi katika uchaguzi, tuwape hawa ambao wanawania same space. Tukiwa sema hatuwapei nafasi na mtu mwenye hajaleta commissioner ashinde uchaguzi, he will not be declared because he doesn't even have anybody in the system. So let's make a very transparent process. Kama ni vyama, hata mimi ningependa kuongezea mheshimiwa ambaye isiwe wale ambao wamesimama urais peke yake. Chama chochote ambacho kinashiriki katika hii uchaguzi
kipewe nafasi sawa.
Naam. Tuweze kuzungumzia kuhusiana na ugatuzi. Mheshimiwa, umezungumzia kuhusiana na tume, kuwepo kwa tume ambazo zinakuwa huru na zinaweza kuwajibikia masuala ambayo yanamhusu mtu fulani pengine au Wakenya kwa jumla. Angazia swala hili kwamba pendekezo la jopo la maridhiano kuwepo kwa tume kama vile ya vijana hapa nchini, kizingatia kwamba swala hili limezungumziwa kwamba kuna idadi kubwa ya vijana ambao hawana ajira, pengine itapata suluhu kwa swala hili.
Wajua hizi matume, mimi sioni kazi ya hizi matume. Sababu sasa tuseme tume ya vijana itafanya nini? Sasa hii tu kuna Uwezo Fund, Youth Fund, Women Fund, na hiyo pesa haionekani anywhere. Sasa tulete tume ya vijana ndio itafanya nini? Hii chenye kinaweza kusaidia vijana ni administration ya serikali yenye iko mamlakani. Tunaweza tengeneza tume 100, lakini kama hizo tume hazina political goodwill ya mwenye anaongoza nchi, basi itakuwa ni sarakasi tu. Kwa sababu tuko nazo sasa hivi, kuna tume ile inafanya mambo
shikilia hapo mheshimiwa. Na arifiwa tayari kiongozi wa taifa ameshawasili kwenye uzinduzi huo hapa kwenye eneo la railways jijini Nairobi, kuzindua ile reli ya kisasa na vile vile kuhakikisha kwamba masuala ya msongamano yanazungumziwa. Na bila shaka ambaye anazungumza ni waziri Macharia, bila shaka waziri wa uchukuzi Macharia anazungumza. Hebu tumsikize anachokisema.
National leaders present, invited guests, ladies and gentlemen. Your Excellency, this is another historic day when we yet achieve another major milestone, particularly in our urban transport in Kenya. Your Excellency, you recall exactly 3.5 years ago, we launched the intercity train from Mombasa to Nairobi. That was Madaraka Day in 2017. Before then, Your Excellency, Kenya had waited for 122 years for a major investment to be done. Today, Your Excellency, is another historic day because we are launching not intercity, but intra-city railway system. And this also, Your Excellency, has waited 100 years to be done. Your Excellency, under your leadership, all these key milestones are being witnessed, which indeed are very historic. This intra-city facility which you have launched today, we will see what we call the diesel multiple units, modern modes of transport, like you see in developed countries. You go to Europe, the US, East Asia, this is what you see. And so for us, Excellency, it's a day of pride. I think they showed you the pictures how this station used to look like in 1900. Indeed, Your Excellency, in 1900, there was nothing else in the city of Nairobi except this station. Now you can see, Excellency, the way it has been refurbished. We can have pride. The residents of city of Nairobi can be proud to have this. Before I welcome you, sir, let me acknowledge some of our key partners who have been working with us. Let me start with the World Bank, who have supported us in 3 things. Number 1, they funded the preliminary studies to do the master plan. And secondly, Excellency, we have this government of Spain, which helped us to procure these diesel multiple units. And today with us here, we do have the Spanish ambassador to Kenya. Thank you, Excellency, for coming to witness this key event. And lastly, we also would like to thank the French government because, Excellency, we are revamping this line from here to Syokimau, which is the terminal for SGR. And then from SGR, going across the bridge, Mombasa Road, to go to the airport itself. So we'd like to thank our partner as well. Lastly, Excellency, let me appreciate the fact that we've been working in a multi-sectoral environment. We have key agencies in government, like NMS, who have worked with us, and we have General Bud here with us. Excellency Kenya Railways, they have worked day and night to make sure this happened. I was just whispering to the president as we're walking along that this station looks like what you see King's Cross in London. And this is a matter of pride for us, Your Excellency. Let me thank other agencies and stakeholders who have worked with us, Nairobi County, but also the Labor Union, Your Excellency, led here by Brother Francis Atwori. Because we are doing this work because of the workers of Nairobi. They will have very seamless ways of transportation, and we appreciate the support given to us so far. And with those remarks, let me now take this opportunity and privilege to invite His Excellency the President to make his remarks. Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Please be seated. Thank you very much. Good afternoon, everybody. Let me say what a pleasure it is to join you today as we take another important step towards achieving our national goals as set out in our Vision 2030. The enhancements that we are launching today are a key milestone within our long-term strategy for an integrated mass transport plan for Nairobi and indeed all other urban areas of Kenya. While our cities have undergone enormous change in infrastructure, as manifested by the dramatic change in Nairobi's skyline in the last decade in particular, our transport sector has exhibited far less growth and diversification. Indeed, our investment in integrated mass transit is informed by the various transport challenges that our citizens continue to face in urban areas. Indeed, it is estimated that the value of time lost to travel in Nairobi, as an example, is between 80 million and 400 million shillings per month, with congestion costing the country about 50 million shillings daily. Needless to say, this loss in productivity has impacted adversely the growth of our economy, and it is estimated that as a country we lose in excess of Kenya shillings 100 billion every year. Indeed, the current over-reliance on road transport has also negatively impacted on our environment, and in studies on climate change and environmental impacts indicate that the transport sector produces about 15% of Kenya's total greenhouse gas emissions, and that 39% of Kenya's total CO2 emissions are generated by road transport. Accordingly, improving urban transport and mobility in Kenyan cities not only has economic benefits to the nation as a whole, but is also a key pillar in environmental protection and mitigating climate change. Therefore, by diversifying our urban transport solutions and giving commuters the option of faster and cheaper travel by rail, we will reduce the number of motor vehicle trips and thereby save Kenyans not only time and money, but also enhance air quality in our Kenyan urban areas. It is gratifying for me that today we are seeing the first fruits of our efforts to achieve these broad aims through the unveiling of commuter rail services across 10 stations in the Nairobi metropolitan region, operating trains, and these DMUs will create a new commuter experience that will be faster, much more affordable, and reliable. The stations on our new scheduled commuter rail service will provide enhanced transport in high-density residential areas of Ruiru, Mweki, Embakasi Village, Athi River, Kikuyu, Kahawa, Githurai, Dandora, Pipeline, and Donholm. These stations will soon be served by 11 DMUs, of which 5 are being commissioned today. With the introduction of these improved commuter rail services, I believe our hardworking citizens in the metropolitan area will have access to alternative forms of public transportation, and they will be served in stations that have modern ticketing systems, adequate parking, improved security, and better road access. It is also worth noting, ladies and gentlemen, that no journey will take more than an hour from these stations to or from the CBD, even during peak hours, when traffic congestion on roads consigns many travelers to spending many hours in gridlock. The service will have day-long hourly train services to and from these stations, giving our commuters greater flexibility in terms of their travel schedule. The new commuter rail network will also be integrated with a bus rapid transport system that will connect the Nairobi Central Station with existing matatu and commuter bus termini. To enhance services for commuters, we have also invested in the rehabilitation of this Nairobi Central Station, the refurbishment of access roads to the station, and improvement of the railway infrastructure at the station. Additionally, the Nairobi Metropolitan Services is almost finishing the construction of the Green Park Terminus, where all matatus currently operating at the Central Railway Station will be transferred to, with an additional alternative terminus being availed at the Workshop Road Terminus, located at Desai Road and Park Road. Kenya Railways has acquired some high-capacity buses to provide the last mile and last mile connections for commuters, commuter rail passengers, and these buses will be stationed at Nairobi Central Station to provide transport services to and from industrial area, Upper Hill, Westlands, Parklands, and Pangani. It is also important to note that the commuter rail passengers from these new stations will also have access to the standard gauge railway line from the Nairobi terminus to the Ongata Rongai and Ngong stations. Additionally, the connection from the Nairobi Central Station to the Nairobi terminus will provide commuter rail passengers convenient access to long-distance travel on the Madaraka Express to and from Mombasa and Suswa. In the next 1 year, this scheduled commuter rail service will be extended to Jomo Kenyatta International Airport, allowing air travelers an alternative mode of transport to and from the airport without suffering the frustration of being caught up in the Mombasa Road traffic jam. While this extension is being constructed, high-capacity buses will be stationed for the time being at Embakasi Village Station to provide direct transportation services to and from the Jomo Kenyatta International Airport. By investing in an integrated transport network in our cities and growing urban areas, we are not only giving citizens affordable and accessible pathways to conduct their business and social activities, but we are also creating additional pathways for employment and economic development. Indeed, international experience shows that investment in transit can yield 50,731 jobs per 100 billion invested and offer a 4-to-1 economic return. The investment undertaken so far in upgrading the commuter rail stations within the Nairobi metropolitan region, investments in access roads, including the non-motorized transport facilities, and creating integrated and modern ticketing systems that accommodates off-site booking purchases has cost us a total of 6.6 billion shillings. We are comforted by the fact that these investments have already yielded great fruits. During the construction of these 10 commuter rail stations, we have engaged an average of 50 workers per day, culminating in over 180,000 direct jobs created and over 700,000 indirect jobs. Furthermore, the maintenance and upkeep of these stations was and will continue to be undertaken by the Kazi Mtaani youth, who are able to contribute to the public good while at the same time gaining daily wages for works undertaken. In addition, with the completion of these projects, we should see the renewal of townships that had endured decades of reduced economic activity. As we unveil commuter services to these stations, we are creating additional revenues for future commercialization and much needed local economic recovery in areas whose vast potential still remains untapped. We are committed as an administration to leveraging on the Nairobi Metropolitan Area Transport Authority and the Nairobi Metropolitan Services to provide maximum value to citizens through cooperation and synergies with Kenya Railways and other agencies. Together, they have created an innovative and harmonized mass transport plan anchored on sound land use planning and giving emphasis and priority to public transport and non-motorized transport. This mass transit plan, which is currently being implemented in phases, provides dynamic solutions to the challenges of congestion, limited alternatives for mass transit, and the negative environmental impacts arising from our heavy reliance on road transportation. NAMATA has now gazetted 12 mobility corridors, out of which 7 are the core trunk mass rapid transport commuter rail corridors connecting Limuru, Gongtown, Kenol in Murang'a, Kiambu, Ruai, Jomo Kenyatta International Airport, and Konza City. The remaining 5 comprise the rapid bus transport corridors along Line 2, which have now been contracted, and works on them will begin soon. We are working towards ensuring that these corridors are secured in law, and this will ensure that future expansion of the transport network will be done more easily and at a much reduced cost. On its part, Kenya Railways will continue to expand its network and services through the operationalization of the remaining 6 DMUs, and an additional 20 mini train stations have been designed and will soon be constructed along the Roiro, Kikuyu, and Embakasi lines. These additional stations will increase services to citizens allowing commuter passengers to increase from an average of 15,000 per day to 40,000 passengers per day. Upon further investment in additional locomotives, rolling stock, and infrastructure improvement, such as additional track lines, we expect that number to rise to an average of 130,000 passengers per day. The NMS, in conjunction with the Kenya Urban Roads Authority and NAMATA, is working also on enhanced traffic management through the rehabilitation and reintroduction of synchronized traffic lights across the city. NMS will construct a traffic management center at City Cabanas that will utilize traffic cameras, sensors, and anonymized location data to provide synchronized signals at 100 new junctions in addition to the existing traffic lights, as well as redesigning and signalizing 25 additional intersections. Beyond the expansion of motorized public transport, our integrated transport plan proposes to offer safer alternatives for citizens to move around the city by non-motorized means. The NMS is implementing the non-motorized transport master plan, which was developed as part of the Nairobi Urban Mobility Plan. NMS has constructed an elaborate network of footpaths interconnecting various transport termini and the CBD, and established footpaths within the CBD, improved bus and matatu termini, as well as secure bicycle parking within the CBD, Matatu Terminal, and the Nairobi Central Station to complement its development of bicycle lanes and cycle paths across the city. So, ladies and gentlemen, today marks a new dawn for transportation in our metropolitan area. The enhancements that we are launching today are not abstract. They will have very tangible, real-life benefits for our citizens living in Nairobi and its environs, and also for the rest of Kenya. Dreams will be empowered, businesses will be revived and prosper, travel, connectivity, and enterprise will all be made easier, and unique concerns of persons living with disabilities will be better addressed. In concluding my remarks, I want to thank each and every agency that delivered these momentous improvements to life in the metropolitan area, as well as the private sector players and our development partners for their support. Through the vision, hard work, and commitment of all, Nairobi and the rest of Kenya will derive immense benefits. Through these and other efforts towards the regeneration of life in our beautiful capital city, I believe will be much improved for all her residents, and Nairobi's status as the gateway and hub for East and Central Africa will be fortified. We have reason to be proud of Nairobi, the green city in the sun, for its leading the way in Africa in creating a modern, vibrant city where public transport and business enterprise solutions are delivered at superb value for money and in line and in an environmentally conscious manner that improves the living experience of all our residents of Nairobi as well as those of our visitors. Mimi sitaki kuongeza zaidi, nataka tu kuwashukuru wale wote ambao tumekuwa tukifanya kazi na wao haswa wakati huu mgumu. Nataka kushukuru wafanyikazi wa Kenya Railways, nataka kuwashukuru wafanyikazi wa NMS, nataka kuwashukuru wafanyikazi wale ambao wamekuwa wakifanya huu ujenzi, na nataka ile ahadi niliwapatia nitakuja kuwachinjia baada ya
Indeed, that is a live feed from the Kenya Railways headquarters right here in the capital, Nairobi, where the head of state was commissioning 11 DMUs and also has talked about commissioning, of course, the road network will change with these new machines. Of course, with the mini trains, they are faster, we have less traffic jams. Remembering that traffic jams cost Kenya's 50 million shillings a day. The NMS and the Kenya Railway Corporation are actually doing that. Let's listen in.
Malaba, kutoka hapa kwenda mpande ya Athi River, kutoka hapa kwenda Ngong, kutoka hapa kwenda Kikuyu. Hii shughuli itawezesha Wakenya kufanya biashara kwa njia rahisi, kutembea kwa njia rahisi, na nataka niwahakikishie wote ambao wako katika sekta hii ya transport wasione ya kwamba kuna kazi ambaye mtu yeyote anatolewa. Tunataka kuona vile Kenya Railways watafanya kazi na sako zetu za matatu. Hatutaki mtu yeyote akose kazi. Ni kusaidiana, tunasaidiana, ni kushughulikia mambo haya tukiwa kitu kimoja, na tuhakikishe ya kwamba tumeweza kupatia wananchi wetu huduma bora, huduma ya kisasa na huduma ambayo itarahisisha biashara zao. Nimalize kwa kusema mimi sina mashindano na mtu yeyote. Mimi naambia wote, njooni tuungane, tujenge Nairobi, njooni tuungane, tujenge Kenya yetu, tuboreshe maisha ya wananchi wetu, kwa sababu hiyo ndio jukumu wa Kenya walitupatia. Kwa hayo machache na mengi nasema Mungu awabariki, Mungu awalinde, asanteni sana. Thank you very much.
Asante sana Mheshimiwa Rais. Kabla ya kuachilia rasmi magari ya moshi, Mheshimiwa Rais.
Indeed, that has been a live feed from the Kenya Railways Corporation right here in the capital, Nairobi. The head of state has just commissioned, of course, the Kenya Railways in partnership with the Nairobi Metropolitan Services have actually beefed up transport systems in Nairobi. And of course, it will actually help a lot of people. Talking about, they have projected 15,000 people will be in the first phase who will be using the train every day, which will be scaled up to 40,000 people each day. But there are plans to scale that to 130 passengers every day. He talks about it's safer, it's faster, it's more convenient, and of course, traffic jams, NALAPs are going to be a thing of the past. It will also help it will ease traffic jams as many people will be drawn because of the cost, the convenience, and also the speed that you will be able to reach your destination. And something very powerful, he has talked about improving business and increasing opportunities for the youth in terms of jobs. Of course, we have our reporter Ben Chumba, who has been keeping his eyes peeled for that presidential speech together with the CES of Transport. So we will be getting back to that much later. But good afternoon and welcome to Channel 1 Lunchtime News. My name is Ben Troy Njue. Lucy Maura is our sign language interpreter for this afternoon. Well, we begin this broadcast from Kajiado, where Environment Cabinet Secretary Keriako Tobiko has urged Morans to be in the front line in supporting the Building Bridges initiative. Speaking during a Maasai Moran's traditional initiation ceremony in Kajiado, Tobiko said the document seeks to empower the young generation to build a better future. His sentiments were echoed by area leaders who said the BBI has considered the marginalized communities.
It was at a Moran's graduation ceremony in Mashuru Sub-County, Kajiado County, that Environment CS Keriako Tobiko wooed locals to support the Building Bridges initiative. CS Tobiko urging the more than 1,000 Morans to be in the forefront in supporting the document.
Sisi wa Masai tumeshaamua, sisi Maa tumeshaamua, na leo vile ndugu yangu Kanjori amesema, the pastoralist wameshaamua, sisi tuko ndani ya BBI. Tuipitishe.
Tobiko, who also reached out to various Maasai age groups, says marginalized communities should be keen not to lose the gains made in improving their livelihoods. Local leaders and Maasai leaders who accompanied the CS in the Enkang Okiteng Samu traditional ceremony echoed their support for the document, saying it has captured the needs of the marginalized communities.
Na viongozi wote wa jamii ya pastoralist wote tunasema tuko BBI compliant.
Tunasimama pamoja na Mheshimiwa Uhuru Kenyatta na BBI tutapitisha asubuhi sana.
Na tuna support handshake, tuna support BBI ili tupite huko, tuende huko mbele, alafu tufanye siasa hiyo ingine.
The leaders, however, warned that the document should purely focus on the prosperity of Kenyans, devoid of any 2022 political succession plans. Commuter for Channel 1 News.
We now cross over to Naivasha, where our reporter Irene Mchuma Odim is on standby. Remember, the governors and the top county assembly leadership are convening there to discuss issues BBI. Of course, it will later be graced by the head of state and his handshake partner Raila Odinga. Over to you, Irene.
Troy, afternoon. We are in Naivasha and Ashipai, and we are here to establish what is going on in regards to the proposals being brought to the fore by the governors and members of County Assembly. And we have been able to witness closed-door meetings between the governors and the members of County Assemblies. Before that, we had governors had their own meeting, and also members of County Assemblies had their own meetings. The two have varied proposals and demands in regards to the BBI report, and the members of County Assemblies were strictly opposing the proposal that entails a candidate to have a degree before vying for a seat. And the governors on their side, they have still maintained their stand that not a must that any time an elected male governor will be able to appoint a female candidate as the deputy governor. They're saying that women leaders should also step on their feet and able to defend the seats. But then we're looking at also other issues that are trying to emerge here at Enashipai in Naivasha. These as leaders are still expecting His Excellency Uhuru Kenyatta and his handshake partner Raila Odinga to make their way here in Naivasha, and this is to rubber stamp on what was presented and unveiled in Kisii and Nairobi counties respectively in regards to the BBI report. So far, Troy, I would say we have not been able to know a clear indication whether His Excellency Uhuru Kenyatta is making his way here, and right now we are past 1 o'clock and leaders have been waiting since morning. Also, his handshake partner Raila Odinga has not made his way here, and just a few minutes ago, members of county assemblies were able to join governors in the main hall here at Enashipai, and they have been able to give their proposals in regards to the BBI. But still, we could be able to read disagreements between the two parties, and yet we will be looking forward to establish this, as at the moment, members of county assemblies have been able to go to a different camp, and governors are also engaging in a closed-door meeting. There's as the two sides deliberate on way forward, because they're looking at having proposals that fit each and every common man in the society. Troy will be keeping a close eye and update you as events unfold. Troy?
Thank you so much, Irene Chuma Odim, coming to us live from Naivasha, where she has alluded is that proposals that talk about county assembly leaders must having a degree as a must have been objected by county assembly leadership, and the same thing has happened on the gender agenda, where the Council of Governors are opposed to the gender requirement that requires if a governor is a male, he should actually have a running mate as a lady. Then from there, we are crossing over right here in Nairobi, where our reporter Suleiman Yeri is attending a presser by women leadership. Let's first of all listen in.
We are here to discuss, to disseminate, to assimilate, and to educate each other on the gains of women, because we do know that after the very many lobbying meetings we have had in this country for the last 3 months, since the first proposal was discussed, we have identified a lot of gains for women, women in the political space, women in the political arena. So today we are here to brief each other, to sensitize each other, to discuss and hear views and issues that these women leaders had, so that we can be able to move forward as one group that is supporting the BBI proposal and also dissecting the issues that pertains to women leadership. So as the leader of this group, as the current chair of KEWOPA, I am very excited that we have had this wonderful meeting, and I would want to allow my members to actually articulate the issues that we are calling the gains of women in the BBI proposal of Kenya. Asanteni sana. So I want to invite Honorable Gladys Wanga to come and talk about the gains in the National Assembly and the Senate.
Thank you very much. As you know, for over 50 years, since the days of Grace Onyango and Phoebe Asio, the women of Kenya have fought to achieve the 2/3 gender rule in Parliament. The BBI has come to open this opportunity that we have fought for 50 years to the women. We are happy as the women of Kenya that through the BBI, we are now going to attain conclusively the 2/3 gender rule in Parliament. What Maraga was about to dissolve Parliament for, what the women in the 11th and the 12th Parliament have been chasing through Duale 1, through Duale 2, through Duale 3, through Duale 4, has now been attained. Over and above that, we now have a House of Parliament, the Senate, that is 50-50. As you know, currently, the women in the Senate do not have a vote when it comes to matters concerning counties. Now we will have 47 men and 47 women in the Senate, all with full voting rights, oversighting an increased funding of over 35%. In the National Assembly, we are looking at having at least 1/3 of the National Assembly being women. That is a major gain. Another gain, which we have never had, is the issue of the opposite gender rule at the county level. And we would like to ask our governors, this law is not being made for any single individual here. We are making a constitution for posterity and for Kenyans now and in the future. So we want to say, as women of Kenya, the opposite gender rule at the county level is a matter that was in the first BBI report, second BBI report, and therefore we will not accept as women for governors to oppose it or have it removed. It is also our irreducible minimum, the opposite gender rule at the county level. So we must say we are very, very clear in our minds that that is a gain that we are not losing. For the first time in history, we have a requirement in the Constitution for political parties to present at least 1/3 of candidates being of the opposite gender. If you present a list of candidates for National Assembly, out of 360, you must have at least 120 of the opposite gender. If you present a list of governor candidates, out of 47 as a political party, you must have at least 16 of the opposite gender. If you do not do this, the IBC will reject your list. This is a big gain for the women. In addition, we have the issue of the Article 43 rights, the right to water, the right to housing, the right to health. These were rights that were inscribed in the 2010 Constitution, but there was never a modality for measuring them. Now we have a mechanism where the President in the State of the Nation address must state the state of the Article 43 rights. The Ward Fund, Article 43 rights. So for those walking around...
That is a live feed from the Pan-Afric Hotel, where women legislators drawn from both houses are lauding the efforts that BBI, or the proposals that the BBI has come up with when it comes to 2/3 gender rule and also the opposite gender rule, something that is opposite of what the Council of Governors had actually objected today, as we have heard from Irene Mchuma Odim. Of course, we will be coming up with a more comprehensive report in our subsequent bulletin. But for now, let's take a quick break. Remember, the Channel 1 Lunchtime News, and much later we'll be having a very interesting discussion in business on the electronic uptake and in the wake of COVID-19 pandemic. Keep it Channel 1.
BBI. So, thank you very much.
When the world changed, it made us go back to the simple joys and love the little things even more, like serving up your best, eating together, and sharing more. Now, we'll take nothing for granted and always remember to taste the simple joys. Coca-Cola. taste the simple joys.
Tonight on KBC Channel 1.
Huo umekaa unakaa guilty vile ulikuwa na zile file na ukawa unazificha.
You are going to regret it. Naona ni kama unaweza kunifanya kama mmoja hizo project zako small na mimi sifurahi hiyo story.
Girlfriends do stuff for their boyfriends all the time.
Decent people call to cancel on you. Well, I'm glad we didn't meet because you're obviously a waste of time.
Tonight on KBC Channel 1.
How could you even think of leaving your mother alone there? Don't you see, your mother could have wandered out into the streets or somewhere else.
How could I help him escape when I have problems running my own life?
Tell that to the police when they come looking for you. Oh my. He's dead. He's already dead. Because of her, I had to leave Tijuana. Because of her, I got kidnapped. And because of her, I lost Fabiola Valente. Hey! Hey! Help me! Hey!
But swear to me you won't say anything to anyone. Because if you tell anyone, Francisco will send me to prison.
In love with Ramon.
Welcome back, and you can catch us live. Remember on our various social media platforms, including Facebook, Twitter, and also on YouTube. Not forgetting our KBC app. Moving on, the Kenya National I will take that again. The National Assembly Special Funds Committee has raised concern over the stalled 10 billion shillings Siyoi Muruni Dam water project in West Pokot County. The legislators have questioned why the project stopped, yet the contractor had been paid half the amount. The committee has promised to table a report before Parliament on their findings to have the contractor compelled to refund the money or complete the work.
It was a tour by legislators who are members of Special Funds Committee to check on government projects in West Pokot County.
9.8 billion was mentioned.
The legislators were, however, unhappy with the way a number of projects in the county have been abandoned underway. According to the committee, the contractor abandoned the project in March 2019, yet it was anticipated to solve problems of water scarcity and sanitation problems among locals.
We have noted a lot of concerns which need to be addressed quickly so that the project gets to its completion stage in order to serve the purpose.
The project, which was launched by President Uhuru Kenyatta, stalled midway.
These are issues that we will want the peers to be able to respond and explain to us the progress report on this project. And why the project has been abandoned since March 2019 up to now. And we want to establish whether even in the current financial year there is budgetary allocation for this dam.
The 30 meters high dam was anticipated to produce 38,000 cubic meters of water per day and was to take 3 years to be complete.
Baada ya kuwa tumeandika ripoti kama kamati, tutapeana kwenye bunge, itajadiliwa, alafu kutoka hapo kuna committee inaitwa implementation committee, itapewa majukumu ya kuendeleza hiyo.
We think this is a project that government has to prioritize and see to it that they are supported and the project is fully funded so that it can be complete.
The committee expressed their concerns, citing that the Equalization Fund is supposed to help marginalized counties like West Pokot that have lagged behind in development for many years.
And over 100 people in Embu town were arrested for flouting COVID-19 protocols, but later released after being issued with face masks. Embu County Commissioner Abdullah Galgalo, who spearheaded the crackdown in a bid to enforce adherence to the guidelines, warned residents against downplaying the Ministry of Health COVID-19 prevention guidelines. Security agencies in the county have vowed to intensify the crackdown in other parts of the region.
County governments have intensified surveillance efforts in a bid to reduce the transmission of COVID-19. In Embu County, over 100 residents were arrested for violating the stipulated COVID-19 protocols. Embu County Commissioner Abdullahi Galgalo saying no offender in the county will be spared.
Muda wa siku mbili zilizopita tumekamata watu zaidi ya 150 ambao watapelekwa kotini ili wajibu kwa nini wamevunja sheria zile za COVID-19. Na tutaendelea kufanya hivyo kila siku mpaka tuhakikishe kila moja amefuata sheria.
Those arrested were however released, each having been given a mask. Embu County Security Team and county health officials held a meeting to strategize on how to enforce the Ministry of Health rules, with plans underway to extend the crackdown to the transport sector.
Tumepanga mikakati ya vile tutahakikisha hata wale ambao wanatoroka kwa stage na kubeba kwingine, tutakuwa na zile tunaita impromptu roadblocks, tuhakikishe tumewashika. Nafikiri yule polisi ambaye umesema hako anachukua 200, sidhani kama ni waembu. Na kama ni waembu basi ni mjinga wa mwisho, kwa sababu 200 haiwezi kumsaidia popote.
We shall not compromise on that. Wearing of mask for everybody, including the school children, including the stadium, Moi Stadium, those who are selling the mirrors, trading and so forth. We shall make sure that everybody is wearing mask.
For those arrested and taken to court, instant fines will be charged to avoid congestions in the cells.
In business, Equity Group Foundation and the Kenya COVID-19 Fund Board have commenced distribution of locally manufactured personal protective equipment to public hospitals. The PPEs, worth 135 million shillings, includes respirator masks, surgical masks, disposable gowns, and gloves.
Amid the COVID-19 pandemic, the need for personal protective equipment for medics continues to increase. Equity Group Foundation, in partnership with the Kenya COVID-19 Fund Board, has started distribution of personal protective equipment worth 125 million shillings to public hospitals across the country. Finally, medical and dental students in 11 universities who were recalled to complete their studies will also receive PPEs worth 10 million shillings. The consignment, which includes 266,000 respirator masks, 2.7 million 3-ply surgical masks, 50,000 reinforced disposable gowns, 2 million pairs of nitrile gloves, 60,000 pairs of medical scrubs, 50,000 coveralls with shoe covers, 300,000 head covers, 55,000 face shields, 34,000 pairs of goggles, and 200,000 disposable aprons will be distributed to public hospitals. The total value of the consignment is 135 million shillings. Equity Group CEO James Mwangi noted the company's commitment to safeguard health workers serving on the front line in mitigating the COVID-19 pandemic. The Kenya COVID-19 Fund Board Chair, Jane Karuku, reiterated the fund's commitment to remain at the forefront in strengthening COVID-19 mitigation measures, noting that the upward spike in the positive COVID-19 cases recently witnessed has proven that Kenyans cannot afford to lower their guard. Betty Kiptum, Channel 1 Business.
The Kenya Roads Board has commenced inspection of Kenya Wildlife Service roads in the parks. Kenya Roads Board Acting Executive Director Rashid Mohammed said that the authority has managed to tarmac over 2,310 kilometers in the parks. Details of this and other stories in our corporate briefs.
The Kenya Roads Board has commenced inspection of Kenya Wildlife Services roads in the parks. The Kenya Road Board plans to tour the roads in at least 4 Kenya Wildlife Services managed parks, which are Tsavo East, Tsavo West, Amboseli, and Nairobi National Park. The Kenya Wildlife Services manages approximately 4,583 kilometers of roads in various national parks and reserves. About 2,500 kilometers comprises of the classified network, which is maintained from fuel levy fund, while the balance is maintained and developed through other funds. Meanwhile, the Kenya Bureau of Standards has launched a welder's certification scheme aimed at equipping individuals with competency in welding based on national and international standards. The scheme offers a 3-year renewable global certification to applicable national and international standards.
There's a great opportunity for our welders in this country, in automotive industry, in shipbuilding, in construction industry. We have realized that the only way we can improve the welding that is undertaken in this country is to have a certification scheme that is now going to help KEBS to monitor the level of compliance.
Finally, counterfeit goods worth 100 million shillings have been destroyed in Mombasa by a multi-agency team in efforts to fight illicit trade. Anti-Counterfeit Authority Chairperson Flora Mutahi says electrical goods account for a bigger percentage of counterfeit in Kenya, with others being clothes, shoes, stationery, and construction material. Mutai says over 1,700 jobs are lost annually due to counterfeit, with manufacturers saying counterfeit goods account for 40% of products in the market.
Majority of counterfeit goods are imported. 70% of the goods we find counterfeited come from outside. So what now, as the country, we've been doing is strengthening our border posts. We strengthen enforcement, public awareness, and also the prosecution.
If you're stealing somebody's brains or intellectual property, you need to be punished for it. We want people to earn from the sweat of the inventiveness, the inventions, and the products they make.
Thanks for that report. And now we head over to the interactive segment where, as I had alluded earlier, is that evolution of consumer habits, and especially when it comes to electronics in the country. And I'm now joined by William Kamore, who is the content manager at LG Electronics. Welcome, William.
Thank you very much for having me.
First things first, has there been an upsurge in electronic uptake in the country? And we know very well that Kenya imports lots and lots of electronics.
Mm-hmm. Yes, we can say, especially since the start of the pandemic, you could see that we've seen an uptick, especially on the sales of electronics appliances, especially for home appliances, because you'll find most people went to start working from home, and then that's where now people started seeing they need to upgrade their appliances or even add other appliances, especially like washing machines.
And what could have led to an increase despite all the challenges of COVID and all the problems that we've experienced, especially this year?
Yes, another thing is that you see nowadays people became more health conscious, and then also people started seeing that they would like to take control of their, let's say, their laundry, also take control of cleanliness in their house. So you can see most people opted to now have washing machines to substitute, and then also washing machines are much more better effective when it comes to washing clothes. And then you'll find most people let's say most people worked from home, and then others, let's say, they had to release their DMs because of loss of income, so they substituted this with an uptake in by purchasing washing machines.
Electronics like washing machines and dryers are identified with the middle class in Kenya. Mm-hmm. Does this indicate that the middle class narrative, does it actually strengthen that notion?
Yes, what you can say is during this year, during this period, we've noticed that the middle and also the high end and also mid-end income and households have been able to purchase washing machines. And then also this drove LG Electronics to the recently launched LG AIDD washing machines that are able to cover this whole range of consumers and households.
And you've talked about the LG washing machine and dryer. And according to you, are there any specific demands when it comes to the Kenyan market, and especially now that COVID has really done a lot of damage, and especially also to the economy?
Yes, what I can say is, especially for LG AIDD washing machines, what you find is that one of the main benefits that these machines have is the use of artificial intelligence, that way to take care of someone's clothes much more better and give much more longer life to clothes. And then also one thing that I'd say is, if allow me to say, for the people in the market for washing machines, I can say at this time and age, steam is not an option, it is a must. And you find the LG AIDD washing machines come with the steam functions that enable to eliminate allergens which might cause respiratory symptoms.
And talking about washing machine and dryer, of course, when growing up, those were things that were identified with the extremely rich. Are the home appliances getting more affordable to Kenya? And exactly what can we attribute this to? Talking about a dryer and a washing machine for an average Kenyan is quite something.
Yes, exactly, we can say that. But you'll find that what you can say, if we compare back in the days, that we did not have such information on the benefits of one might be having for a washing machine. Now that the world has opened up and also Kenya has opened up, there's a lot of information and benefits that allows people to see that actually a washing machine is a device that I can use at home, and it saves on your energy and also saves on your water and also saves on your time.
Okay, and talking of artificial intelligence, and I've noticed this with many gadgets that are now landing in Kenya. You've talked about the LG washing machine and dryer having artificial intelligence. Exactly what do you mean?
Yes, you find that at these days, you'll find that most brands or most companies are going into the innovation way. And LG leads when it comes to innovation and technology, that it has to be able to incorporate artificial intelligence on all of the products that LG has, driven by LG ThinkQ. And you'll find that the last time I think I was here with you, we were talking about smart homes. And thanks for welcoming me back so that we can continue this story. And the one thing we talked about then was the TV, and now you can see here we are talking about the LG AIDD washing machines, which now means the artificial intelligence is able to incorporate your washing machine into your house, into your lifestyle, and that makes it convenient. You can even control it on the go. You can even control it when you're in the house, just remotely. So, and also this increases in terms of smart homes. As you can see, they are being developed in most places.
And of course, when we talk about electronics, new electronics in Kenya, Kenyans want something that is durable, and of course, spare parts come after the product is in the market. Do you have after-sale service, or even do you have spare parts for this very new technology here in Kenya?
Yes. Now, you see, another thing recommendable, I can say, from LG Electronics is on its sales service and after-sales service. You find that, especially for this new technology, which is the AIDD motor, the washing machine has a 10-year warranty on the motor itself. And the parts are there available on our service center. You can simply dial in. And then also, like I saw, you just run a story of anti-counterfeit. And then also there's one way we enable or give confidence to the consumer. You can simply check to see if this product is genuine, and the customer now gets much more peace of mind to know that his product is durable and it will be taken care of.
How can you compare the intake of electronics here in Kenya as compared to Africa? Because the last time you were talking about artificial intelligence of another electronic device, now you're coming up with another one with the same technology.
Yes, what I can say is Africa as a whole has greatly improved, and especially in terms of internet and also technology. That you find that when you talk about, for example, like for LG East Africa, we're servicing a lot of countries in East Africa, and we can say the uptake on the product is the same, especially from here, all the way from Kenya to Uganda to Tanzania, even all the way to Sudan.
Kenya relies heavily on electronics from countries like China, and of course established firms such as yours. Is that you're going to be dealing with a lot of counterfeits or products that are similar to yours, but of course that is a beating on your side. Have you gotten such a beating when it comes to electronics here in the country, and especially now we have seen a story on substandard goods that were being destroyed in Mombasa?
Yes. So also that is also it is also a challenge when it comes to electronics companies. And what I always like assuring people is when you're talking about counterfeit, you see that most of the people affected in terms of counterfeits, even the resellers, the end customer, and then also the brand itself. So one thing, LG launched the Genuine campaign a while back this year, worked with the anti-counterfeit agencies to try and curb this. And we can say by this time, as we near to the end of the year, we find that most products we have been able to fight this fight, and we can say that through the campaign it shows that most people are embracing genuine products, and then also that you can see has also led to the increase in terms of sales.
Indeed. Thank you so much, William Kamore. Always a pleasure hosting you. Yes. Been speaking to William, who is the content manager at LG Electronics. Moving on, fast food firm McDonald's has announced it will introduce a new line of plant-based meat alternatives called McPlant next year. McDonald's said it would offer plant-based burgers, chicken substitute, and breakfast sandwiches. Details of this interesting story and others in our international business roundup.
McDonald's has tested out a plant-based burger in Canada with Beyond Meat, a producer of plant-based meat. However, shares of Beyond Meat plummeted after the announcement by McDonald's, as it was not clear who would supply the fast food chain with a meat alternative. The move towards meat substitutes has been driven primarily by concerns over meat's effects on health, the environment, and animal welfare. The company, which reported market-beating profits for its third quarter on Monday, declined to say which supplier it would use for its McPlant line of products. Barclays Bank forecasts that consumption of meat alternatives might be worth $140 billion by the year 2029. Elsewhere, food prices played a major part in decelerating China's consumer price index in October. China's National Bureau of Statistics said that the country's CPI, a main gauge of inflation, was down 0.3% from the previous month. It rose by 0.5% year-on-year in October, but the growth rate also noticeably declined by 1.2 percentage points from September. From a year-on-year perspective, prices of eggs, chicken, duck are all declining, while the price increases for beef, mutton, and vegetables decelerated in October. Besides the food category, drop in gasoline and diesel prices is another factor to the CPI slowdown. Finally, a Swedish court has issued a temporary injunction halting the earlier decision of Swedish telecoms regulator Post and Telecom Authority to exclude Huawei from its 5G spectrum auction. In late October, the Swedish telecoms regulator made an abrupt decision to exclude Huawei from its 5G networks, followed shortly by an appeal from the Chinese tech giant in early November. In response to the Swedish telecoms regulator allegations, which called Huawei one of the greatest threats to Sweden, Huawei argued that the decision lacked legal basis and violates EU's legal principles. Following the court decision, the Swedish telecoms regulator announced a postponement of the spectrum auction originally scheduled for Tuesday. Betty Kiptum, Channel 1 Business.
Closer home, Coast General Teaching and Referral Hospital is in urgent need of oxygen in the wake of the second wave of COVID-19 infections. The Chief Executive Officer, Iqbal Kandwara, is appealing to well-wishers and donors to help support the hospital. He spoke while receiving the first batch of 10 wheelchairs donated by Mombasa-based philanthropist Hasnuk Patel. Kandwala thanked Patel, who is the proprietor of Mombasa Cement, for the gesture. The company, through its various programs, has also offset pending medical bills for a section of patients who cannot afford to pay.
Ensuring that disabled people are helped, are assisted, and have a voice within our society. The wheelchairs are local made, and we are promoting the disabled workshop that we have here within our coast region.
There is an urgent need for support in oxygen supply. COVID has huge demands for oxygen, and we have requested not only Mombasa Cement, but especially Mombasa Cement to assist us with a liquid oxygen tank or an oxygen plant, which is even better.
The committee said.
And the National Assembly Committee on Labour and Social Protection says there is need to have all social protection programs anchored in law during the COVID-19 period. Speaking during a meeting with NSSF leadership in Mombasa, the committee members expressed their concerns that pensioners need assurance that their contribution is safe and not subject to mismanagement as the country grapples with the coronavirus pandemic.
The committee said it is eagerly awaiting to make key amendments to the NSSF Act of 2013 once parties who have gone to court agree to an out-of-court settlement. The committee said once the law is amended, it will help increase the contribution of benefits from members, streamline appointments to the security fund, and ensure timely remittance of employees' contributions by employers. Anthony Murekwa, managing trustee of NSSF, said the act is timely as it will help address the low contribution rates by Kenyans. He said the new Haba Haba product aims to empower those employed in the small and medium enterprises who will be saving 25 shillings per day, thereafter enabling them to get a loan or withdraw 50% of the savings after 5 years.
And the Isiolo Women of Faith Network has raised concerns over an upsurge of sexual and gender-based violence cases. Teenage pregnancies and early marriages are among vices that are said to be on the rise during the COVID-19 pandemic period. They say restrictions put in place by the government to curb spread of the coronavirus have made it even harder for victims to seek help.
It is during an open day forum that brought various stakeholders from national and county governments, interfaith youth, religious leaders and civil society organizations. The chairperson of Isiolo Women of Faith Network, Halima Dida, noted things have turned south since the pandemic hit the country.
Tumeangalia zile ni nini inasababisha pengine hizi migogoro ama mambo ya gender based violence katika familia. So tumesema imeonekana kwamba watu wanakuwa affected na issues of mental health, na pia iweze kuwa followed up ni vipi pengine hizo issues ama watu wanaweza kusaidika vipi.
Halima noted directives to have people stay at home while many have lost their jobs has added to an increase in conflict that results to domestic violence, mental and emotional torture. The Women of Faith Network strongly discourages the concept of maslaha, where elders resolve cases. Lack of a rescue center for girls and women who have been saved from abusive situations in Isiolo is further derailing the efforts to weed out the retrogressive practices.
Ni muhimu pia tukue na rescue centers. Rescue center hata kama ni moja katika county tuweze kukua nayo, ambayo wasichana wakikuwa rescued from these processes wanapelekwa wapi.
Now we are requesting them, the Council of Elders, the National Council of Elders. We have seen what they are doing nationally to bring peace, also to continue bringing peace people of Isiolo together so that nothing is going to interfere with the peace of Isiolo that we are trying to bring up so much.
The women further proposed establishment of an anti-FGM steering committee in Isiolo County to aid in accelerating the president's directive to end FGM in Kenya by the year 2022.
In sports, Football Kenya Federation FKF Division 1 side Solasa Queens came from a goal down to stand the University of Eldoret 3-1 and clinched this year's edition of Solasa annual football tournament. The match was staged at Eldoret ASK Showground.
University of Eldoret's Joanne Nafula broke the deadlock in the 24th minute, giving her side the lead in the first half. Solasa Queens equalized through Tiri Egesa in the 30th minute when she successfully converted the penalty after Violet Wanyoni handed the ball into the danger box. Solasa added a second goal through Charlene Opisa in the 64th minute before Susan Malda scored a third goal in the dying minutes of the game.
Tournament was about kicking out Corona out of Uasin Gishu County, and we are telling people to take responsibility of their own health. So the theme of this tournament was My Health, My Responsibility. We are emphasizing on people taking responsibility of their health.
Tulikuwa tumejipanga, tulitrain hard kwa kusema kwa inabidi tushinde kwa sababu sisi wenyewe ndio wenye tumetengeneza tournament. Sasa tungekubali kikombe itoke hapa iende. Sasa ilibidi to fight.
The game was good. The tournament was okay. Throughout the game situation, throughout the tournament, as UO8 Queens, we expected a win throughout. But you know, football has its own. There must be a winner and a loser.
The Solasa Football Tournament is an annual event held to nurture talent and promote football in the grassroots levels. Frederick Mwoki for Channel 1 Sports.
From Eldoret, we head all the way to Naivasha. Remember, the Council of Governors and the County Assembly members and leadership are meeting there to discuss matters BBI. And as Irene had told us earlier, is that some of them are opposed to some of the proposals. But remember, it's a consensus meeting. So let's first of all listen in.
Largely agreed upon between governors and deputy governors and even the county assembly forum that indeed deputy governors will hold portfolios within the counties. Deputy governors are pushing for that portfolio to preferably be finance and planning portfolio. So it's something that is under discussion, but it's one that deputy governors are currently pushing for. So largely we are in agreement of the 35% proposed in the BBI report to come to counties. We would have been happier with 45%, like the other devolved countries have shown us. But we are happy to start with 35%. Also in agreement with the minimum 5% ward fund. This, I think, we are aligned with governors about. We've also made a proposal that in the bid to strengthen devolution, that one of the deputy prime ministers should actually be in charge of the devolution ministry. This way, at that very top level, devolution will be represented and devolution will be strengthened. On the fight against corruption, as deputy governors, we have made proposals that cases of corruption should be expedited within the counties, so that then what we are currently seeing of delayed issues where governors are asked not to be in office and the counties are actually held at ransom with not too much development going on, doesn't continue to persist. Those are the issues, I think, by large, that we have been able to canvass as deputy governors, and to agree largely on the proposals that have been made on matters youth and matters youth and unemployment. I will discuss gender just now. And we are saying that we are for the youth council. We think that the proposals of tax breaks for our youth are extremely important, and the issue of help as well We are excited about Biashara Mashinani, the initiative that helps our youth to foster businesses at the very ward level. We are very excited about that. On the issue of gender, as deputy governors, my colleagues and I have discussed this at length, and I have said it's an issue that has put me in a very precarious situation, being chair of deputy governors and being female. So my view would be, it would be good to have opposite gender, that's a personal view. But the view of deputy governors is that governors should be allowed to pick deputy governors based on qualifications and the other variables that come into play when somebody is looking for a running mate. And gender would be a good one, but should be considered as just one of the variables. So, ladies and gentlemen, I think those are the things that we've been able to discuss and agree upon as deputy governors. Thank you.
Yeah. Thank you very much, members of the Fourth Estate, and I want to apologize that yesterday you were here, but we could not make our statement because we had not finished our meeting. We have been here for 2 days, and we had two main agendas. The first agenda was to discuss about COVID-19, infections, and what we are doing as counties to make sure that we contain the spread of the virus. And the second issue, we took advantage of the COVID agenda to discuss the BBI report. So I will make statement on both those two issues. Now, following the resolution arising from the 6th Extraordinary Summit held on 4th November 2020, the Council of Governors held a consultative meeting with the various devolution stakeholders, including the County Assembly's Forum, to strategize on how to maximize on the containment measures and mobilize resources to flatten the curve. The massive rise in the confirmed COVID-19 positive cases in the past few days have clearly shown us that we live in a new normal, and we need to adjust accordingly. The responsibility has moved from government to individuals, and therefore we need to exercise extra vigilance and protecting ourselves. Wear your masks, social distance, wash your hands consistently during the day. We will not tire in reminding you this. We are a resilient nation, and we will conquer this disease for as long as we abide by the protocol provided by the Ministry of Health. We also wish to take this opportunity to deeply thank all partners who have continued to support us in responding to the pandemic. Following consultation held by the Council of Governors on BBI, we propose the following amendments to improve the BBI draft. One, on governance. We propose Senate should be strengthened by ensuring that it has veto powers on all bills. Number two, the position of deputy ministers should be introduced and they should be picked from Parliament. Number three, on governance, the summit and the National Council for County Legislatures, the MCS, the Council of County Governors should be entrenched in the Constitution. The regional economic blocks should also be entrenched in the Constitution. On disbursement of funds, we have the following to say. One, that in order to ensure timely release of funds to be dispersed to counties, the disbursement schedule, as prescribed by legislation, should be submitted to the Central Bank of Kenya by the Speaker of the Senate for implementation within 14 days of the passage of Division of Revenue Act. we propose that in addition to the 35%, all monies held by parastatals and national government departments performing devolved function be transferred to counties. Secondly, we propose that county governments should ensure that not less than 10% of their total budget is allocated to agriculture, livestock, and fisheries functions, and that not less than 30% of the total budget is allocated to health functions, and 2.5% of the budget is allocated to youth function. Number 3, to speed up the flow of funds to the counties, we propose the Office of the Control of Budget is decentralized to all the 47 county governments. Additionally, the role of the control of budget should only be limited to ensuring that funds dispersed are in conformity with the budget, and the control of budget does not perform the functions of the Auditor General or any other investigative agencies. Number 4, National Treasury be established as an independent institution to serve both levels of government. 2 IFMIS systems should be adopted, one for national government and another for the county government. 5th, county government should be authorized to borrow for development purposes only. On elections, 1, an independent electoral and boundaries commission should be devolved to the 47 counties. Number 2, in public appointments, in order to implement the principle of inclusivity, focusing on ethnic, cultural, and geography, we should focus on ethnic, cultural, geographical, and gender when we are making public appointments. Number 3, deputy governors should remain as running mates to the governor and should be of either gender. On security, county government to be involved in security matters at both national and county levels. In the National Security Advisory Council and the implementation of the County Policing Authority should be operationalized immediately. On independent commissions, the Office of the Director of Public Prosecution and the Police Service Commission to continue operating as it is in the current institution, in the current constitution, while the recommendation in the BBI documents on the judicial ombudsman should be deleted. On pension, we propose that a pension fund be established for governors, deputy governors, county speakers, and members of the county assemblies and other county state officers, as is in the case with the president, deputy president, speakers at the national level, members of parliament, and state officers at the national level. Criminal liability. We propose the removal of collective criminal responsibility in management of resources at the county government level to align with the principle of personal criminal culpability. The above proposals, along those from the county assembly, will be shared with the 2 principals and the secretariat of the Pooling Preachers Initiative for further consultation. That is what we had today. Sawa?
One of the concerns that you had.
That was a live feed from Naivasha, where the Council of Governors plus their deputies were giving us a presser on what some of the issues they have talked about on the BBI report. And without preempting, of course, the chairman has touched on Senate being strengthened. That is something that has also come out in various platforms. Regional economic blocks, they want them enshrined in the Constitution, in addition to not less than 10% of all the country allocation to go to agriculture and also fisheries, not less than 30% to be dedicated for health functions. Of course, they want the National Treasury to be an independent body and, of course, to serve so that may be able to serve the counties and also the country. They've talked about the IBC to be devolved in each and every county, and also on matters governors, talking about the deputy governor, we remain running mate to the governor. Of course, there were proposals that the deputy governor should not actually be, should be an employee that the governor can fire at will. Of course, the ODPP, that is Office of the Director of Public Prosecution, to continue operating in the current constitutional dispensation. Deputy Governor for Nyeri earlier talking about the deputy, one of the deputy prime minister to be in charge of the devolution ministry. Of course, remember, there are other proposals that have been flaunted by other sections, and of course, we will continue keeping up with the BBI conversation. Irene Chuma Odim is in Naivasha. She will be coming with a much comprehensive bulletin. And on that note, we wrap up Channel 1 Lunchtime News. Thank you so much for keeping me company. My name is Ben Troy Njue. Lucy Maura has been our sign language interpreter for this afternoon. And remember, you can follow all these stories plus much more on our website, that is www.kbc.co.ke. Do have yourself a blessed afternoon.
Vera Beauty College. Vera Beauty and Fashion College, with branches in Nairobi, Eldoret, Thika, and Meru. Did you know that we are a TVET approved institution? We offer courses in fashion design, interior design in soft furnishing, event decoration, flower arrangement, event planning, hairdressing, barbering and dreadlocks, beauty therapy, makeup, nail technology, spa massages, teaching skills, TOT, solo business management, and many more. Register now and visit our website on www.verabeautycollege.com. You can also call on 0725 923 550 Nairobi branch, 0728 087 689 Eldoret branch, 0722 22 7428 Thika branch, 0725 000 706 Meru branch. Vera Beauty and Fashion College, a TVET approved institution.
And beyond, what up? How you doing? We are coming to you from the Ngong Race Course. What's going down?
The icing on cake right here at Ngong Race Course is Nai Fest 2020, baby. Yeah, it's all about, you know, celebrities. You know, it's all about drip kama kawaida. Wase wamevaa hapa hivi, nimeona even your favorite, your socialite, Shakila is also, you know, she's walking up and down.
Did you
of
have
course,
to?
you know, she's.
Anyway, guys, people are looking so good, and we are here to party and nothing else. I go with the name Vivian Dego. You can simply just call me Miss V.
Jack Muller, the party daddy, aka your girlfriend, go my number.
And you know what this right here is?
Grapevine, baby.
What you gotta do? As we mentioned, we are here specifically for Naifest, so we don't want to keep you guys waiting because we got you like that. This is our first story.
Absolutely, we are not gonna keep you waiting because your favorite artists are right here. Let's check it out.
The Nai Fest, a concert organized by Bridget Atieng Foundation, is held annually to celebrate the diversity and uniqueness of the Nairobi culture. Held at its usual location, Ngong Racecourse, the event went down on Saturday the 7th of November. Going by their tagline, which is fashion, art, music and food, those in attendance sure did enjoy all of this. Music was rather the main order of the day, and as revelers trickled in, the DJ held it down with some danceable tunes. Fred Omondi and MC Antonio were the MCs for the day. Later, one after another, the lined-up artists hit the stage. Butros of the AD family, Tio Mio, the new kid taking over the rap scene, Lewa hitmakers, Gwash and Zero Sufuri, among others, didn't disappoint with their bangers. The sensation that is Mbogi Genje, despite their deep Sheng words, wowed the crowd as usual. Uganda's Jackie Chinjiru owned the stage and proved that she was indeed Queen of the Nile. Mr. Loverman Otile Brown performed some of his hit songs, including Dusuma, before being joined on stage by Timmy Tida for Wembe. The show was shut down by Calligraph Jones and his elder brother K.O.B., who the crowd clearly loved as they went wild during their entire performance, rapping along to the lyrics. The main act of the night, Rora hitmaker Nigerian Ricardo Banks, to the disappointment of many, didn't get on stage, excuse being time due to the curfew. You gotta do. That was a beautiful event. I am sure you enjoyed as you were watching us from home. But don't you go too far, or don't think that we are done with the Nai Fest. We have so much more from this event. Absolutely. Now, right about now, I want to introduce you to one of your favorite artists, yeah? Bazoo. Now, what does it take to be a Bazoo, yeah? It takes greatness, it takes a prowess. But before I introduce you to the wild, wild Willis, huh? You will excuse us for our background noise, yeah? Folks at home, let's check it out. Now the big man himself, Bazoo Willis. Tell us about the whole hairstyle thing.
The hairstyle, basically, it's something I wanted to do from a very long time. And I just figured that Sasa, I'm a big proponent of, especially in 2020, where the world almost ended. It is important for you to do what makes you happy, just like the Saudi Soul song says. Exactly, yeah. Because everybody's judging anyway, like they say. So the thing that makes you happy, you go ahead and do it unapologetically.
Amazing.
Yeah.
But let's talk about Gengeton.
Yes.
Now you have diversified, you've gotten into this. I feel like you are their father now. You are the father of Gengeton. Tell us about it.
Well, when I
their big brother.
Yeah, wacha niseme big brother. Big brother, manake kuna jua kali, hao ndo wakubwa.
Jua kali is Genge, then there's Gengeton.
Oh, Gengeton.
Yes.
Wacha niseme big brother. Tunatafuta dadi bado. Yeah, I love Gengetone. I think it's a sound that made a lot of people in Kenya start paying attention to Kenyan music. Stop playing Nigerian, Tanzanian sana. And yes, there were some problems up and pale, but again, I always say music is a reflection of self. So as an artist, sometimes they go into studio, they are talking about things that they're going through. In between hizo lyrics, ukisikiza vizuri, everybody is aspirational, everybody wants some money, they want to have fun, they have problems. So it's just the packaging and they have come a long way. If you look at the videos these days, if you hear the content these days, they've really tried to change.
So they've started with doing videos from their phones.
On the phones, exactly. And so that's what I'm saying. As much as you can critique it, let it not be, there's a difference between critique and outright hate. You can critique it because we want to build our Kenyan sound sour. But if you want to hate on it and yet you have an option, watch us. But if you want to critique it to build it because it is something that we can export. I believe Gengetone is a sound that we can actually export. Yeah. And the way Nigeria has Afrobeat, Tanzania has Bongo. Hata sisi tunaweza kuwa na Gengetone.
Starting out, people say this is just a wave that is gonna pass. You know, it's not something that will be there for a while. Maybe it will just be there for about 3 years and then it will just pass. What do you have to say about that?
Well, it's dependent on the artist, but I don't think it's gonna pass. And that's why the Gengetone Festival, for example, ni kuwarudisha moyo. Unja 2020 imefanya watu kidogo washushwe moyo. So things like this and the appreciation they will get basically let them know that, hey, watu bana wanasikia, watu wanawapenda. So go back to the studio, keep making more music, diversify, change the beat, change the sound, do new things, do more collaborations, and grow it completely.
This is the first time we are having a Gengetone event. What took it so long? What took it and it's been popping?
First, actually, this event was supposed to be in Feb,
yes,
but Corona happened. But then again, when the Gengetone artists first started out, I feel there was so much competition among them. And then there's a point where walifika tu wakasema, hey, by the way, we are on our own, so tushikane. So then you see that they started featuring each other's videos, and the producers, Kina Mavo on the beats, Magic's Anger, all these guys coming together and trying out different things with their sound. Then you have we call them the more experienced, Kina King Kaka coming in, Otile trying to come in as well, Bahati, a nice cross. So once guys realize, hey, this thing is not going anywhere, the best we can do is build it, then wakaanza kuingiana sasa. Yeah.
Don't you feel like Gengetone is a bit on the explicit side?
Well, no, yes and no, because hizo vitu watu waongea kwa WhatsApp, watu waongea kwa dinner table, watu waongea whispers, and the reason why they have those many views is because guys can relate. And then also, most of these things, if you listen to other songs, even in international that guys like, they have them. I mean, from Siku za 50 Cent, Tupac, they've been explicit. Hata Tanzania, weka mate mwaga mbolea, sijui cheza kama unapiga deki, sijui nini. It's just that maybe they were a bit too blunt. But again, you see they've already started changing it. They've come up with they've enhanced the sheng. So wanaweza sema kitu ikupite. Bogigenje. Warazi wakimwoku wanabuya. Jaribu mbogi ujue si dikwara. So that's a nice way also. That's what I'm saying. It's evolving.
What else is in the works from Willis Ramuru Buzz? Are you planning to be the DJ Khaled of Kenya?
Yes, well, I appreciate guys who call me the DJ Khaled of Kenya, but I always also say there can only be one DJ Khaled. So I'm just saying to be the Willis Bazu of Kenya. But I actually, so there are more projects coming up, more stuff I've done with Vink on the beat, producer-wise, Magic's Anger, Mavo, still some more coming up with him as well. There are songs with a Nigerian artist, there's a Tanzanian artist, there's a Rwandese on there as well. So yeah, tunaendelea tu, tunajaribu tu kutest. And yes, watu wanasema, hauimbi, hatukusikii, unaongea tu. I'm full of surprises. You never know.
They might never know.
Yeah.
We're keeping tabs what you are.
Yeah.
Thank you so much for the interview.
Asante sana.
We are here to just see what you're doing for the industry.
Thank you.
Appreciate your work.
Asante sana.
We're looking at you. We are right behind you, following the steps.
Asante sana.
What you gotta do.
Man, kaningekuwa Willis, ningerelease hizo mangoma zote ame-mention hapo hivyo, man. Because now, you know, as we speak right now, everybody's talking about
Everyone
Willis,
was on his case because of the Gengeton Festival, you know. So
Man.
this is the time.
Allow us to take you to Alliance Francais now, where the Activism Challenge went down. We had the likes of Octopizzo, Giuliani speaking about different things concerning our society and art. Let's check it out.
Truth is, we don't know where the problem is. But the problem is,
Tunaweza sema saa hii na waswali ya different na Kenya kitu Beyonce akisema saa hii. So also it depends how strong the vessel is that is spreading the message. And that's why unapata time ya elections, politicians outlook for those stronger vessels. Wanawabari.
itakuwaje una believe in me na nikicheza kimimi unashikwa na kiwewe? Evicting vya tawi inafika malinduri ya mnyonge iweze fika ballot box.
Activism is something you do or you decide to do and whatever. So for me, I don't think I'm doing activism. Me, I'm just expressing. I grew up in a setting where things were a certain way, and I couldn't talk when Isa and everybody else was talking about Kanini and whatever. That was their way of living, and that was their reality. And on the other side, reality yetu kuna na polisi asubuhi kila asubuhi kiamko unapata mtu amekuuliwa, unapata just because you dress up a certain way, you're arrested.
Art is used to try and get people in their comfort zones to hear and do something about it. When you're marching, people sing, and you sing because you need to motivate each other and to get involved in the struggle. In the South African struggle, they had revolutionary songs. When you keep to way of power,
I have to make money through this and be an activist at the same time. It will never happen. That's just the reality. You have to have like a side hustle that you actually do and say this is what I'll make my money from and feed my family, but this is my values and I'm sticking to them even if I'm not making money from them. Sometimes you can make money from your values. It's not that people don't make money from their like activism. You can. Only going to the street, yes, it was planned, we are meeting at this time, this is where we're starting. If we are arrested, this person will call this person because we might be arrested. Now, so that you so uamkaliwa na kudio stuff. So weza kumemshow, umeamkali yako, umechatisha, umeshikwa, alafu napigia boni. Ati basi nitoe nilikuwa hivi maandamano ya gani? Mimi nilikuwa nimelala.
Beautiful people, I hope you are enjoying this show, man. And if you're not enjoying it, then you're enjoying it, okay? Yeah, remember you can catch us up on our social media platforms at Jack Muller, at Vivian Degwa, at KBC Channel 1. Man, let's keep the conversation going.
Absolutely.
Next on.
See me yummy man, he me really yummy man. See me yummy man, he me really yummy man. Say ooh.
African kings and queens, and the young ones in between.
We love Majesty and we love King Selassie. 100 on the highway, I ain't taking no calls on my struggles in the rearview mirror. That's the burn.
We've been through this before. Once we go through this again, it would be a tragedy if we can't learn from the past.
Gear up and maintain a healthy, fit and active lifestyle right there at home by keeping up with Gear Up on Channel 1, 5:30 to 6 a.m. Monday to Saturday. Gear Up every day for every moment, and remember to stay home and keep safe.
tonight on KBC Channel 1.
Huo umekaa unakaa guilty vile ulikuwa na zile file na ukawa unazificha.
You are going to regret it.
Naona ni kama unaweza kunifanya kama mmoja hizo project zako small na mimi sifurahi hiyo story.
Girlfriends do stuff for their boyfriends all the time.
Decent people call to cancel on you. Well, I'm glad we didn't meet because you're obviously a waste of time.
The road to the 2021 Africa Cup of Nations brings us home to another exciting qualifier where Harambee Stars host the Colasantes of Comoros Wednesday, the 11th of November at Kasarani.
And that goal! And it is a goal! Coming on exactly 34 minutes, Johanna Omolo.
Watch it live and exclusive on KBC Channel 1 at 7 p.m. as we continue to showcase Africa's best on your true sports partner.